I've made $953,606.76 from the Forex trading industry. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. I'm going to talk from start to finish, how I started to trade, how I actually learned and developed my strategy, and how I actually scaled it from trading with a £1,000 account, even trading with a £100 account, to then trading up to 7 figures with prop firm trading account. Firstly, I got into trading from someone from the school I went to, and someone there in the sixth form was actually a Forex trader, or so I thought at the time. I was quite interested because, you know, they had the nice car, they had the Forex trading group, they were making a lot of Forex money, so I kind of wanted to make that for myself. So, you know, I asked them, how do I trade? And then, like every trader does, they send you a link to their group, and then you join their group, and then they teach you how to trade. You know, in this group, it was pretty much the basics. I learned what a pip was, you know, support and resistance, how to risk manage, stuff that you can nowadays just find on babypips.com, or you can just go on YouTube and type in Forex basics for beginners, and you can find everything you need to know about starting to trade Forex. You know, for that sort of info now, to find out what a candlestick is, what a pip is, how to risk manage, you don't need to pay for it. You can literally just Google it or find it on YouTube in one simple video explaining it. Shortly after I actually joined this group was when I actually set up my first demo account, and in this account I started with $3,000. At the time when I started on MT4, it was like a base amount of $3,000. You can actually choose how much you wanted in the demo account. I think you can now if you do it for a broker. On this account I was just trading gold with high lot sizes, and obviously I was making profit. You know, every single person that trades a demo ends up making profit, and that's why trading is quite dangerous, because when you go on a live account it's a very, very different scenario. But that's what I started with. I started on that demo, $3,000, and I started making profit. And you know, once I started making profit on this demo account, I actually started trading a live account. With this account I started with £700. So I had a lot of clothes, you know, like Canada Goose coats, Montclair coats, Stone Island, and all that sort of rubbish, all those sort of designer brands, because I was reselling, buying and selling. I had loads of these, you know, items for clothing. So I sold all of the clothing items I had. You know, I used to go fishing at the time, and I sold all my fishing gear, all the expensive bits anyway. You know, even my Xbox. Back when I was 16, everyone was still playing Xbox. You know, I sold all these items to actually fund my trading accounts. And what I do is I just deposit, blow it, deposit, blow it, deposit, blow it. You know, it's a vicious cycle where anything I put in, I would lose within that week or within the next few weeks. There was one time when I actually got lucky. You know, I got beginner's luck. There was £450 in the account. I flipped it to £2,000, withdrew £1,000, so I was in profit on that account, and then just blew the other £1,000, you know, within the next week. But once I realized that every time I deposit, I would just lose money, this is when I was like, okay, I seriously need to do something about this and actually learn how to trade, rather than just buying when I think it's gold's going to buy and sell when I think it's going to sell. Key thing that I want to mention is I'd always trade the same pair from the very start. So you guys know that I always used to trade gold for like 3 years, and that was the pair I started with, and that's the pair I kind of stuck with throughout the whole journey of my trading. The way I actually tried to learn was just by replicating people I saw on YouTube. So I watched YouTube videos with like a phone strategy, or I just go on YouTube and type in how to trade Forex, and then I just, you know, follow their strategy, see what they were doing, trying to replicate it for myself. And obviously this isn't the best thing to do. You know, a lot of people just try and sell their course to you by saying, buy my course and you'll be able to learn to trade like I do. Within a few months you'll be profitable learning how to trade. That's not the reality of trading. I could probably give someone the blueprint of my strategy. Like I say, this is where I buy, this is where I sell, but you don't see the markets the same as me. So it's going to be different for your strategy. It's going to be different for your trading. So you kind of have to realize that you have to develop it to your own style, to your own risk management. You know, even I sell a mentorship. I'm not going to say if you join within 3 months, you're going to be profitable. It's just not that simple. You're going to have to work on yourself. And when I actually started doing this is when I actually started to see success. This is when I stopped just randomly entering trades, and I actually stuck with a plan. So I'd obviously seen things on YouTube, and I've done a lot of back testing, so I was kind of like, okay, I kind of know what to look for now. You know, I was just trading reversals, so I'd look for like support resistance zones, and I'd just trade from reversals from these zones. Very, very simple trading at the time, but it was profitable for me. You know, I was making good money, but the way I was entering, it was quite risky. And obviously trading reversals is obviously not as low risk as, you know, continuing and trading a trend following strategy, which is what I do now. The reason I kind of moved away from trading reversals was it's fine trading with a small account where you're only risking like a few £100 or like £1,000 per trade, and this was fine because it's not large amounts. But when you're trading, you know, up to 7 figures with these prop firms or even larger personal accounts, I don't really want to be risking this on trading against the trend. So I kind of switched my strategy to trend following using the same sort of entry criteria. Obviously developed it over time to how I trade now, because obviously at the time I had like a 60 or 70% win rate. Now my win rate over the long term is a lot higher than that. The main thing I was doing at this time, whilst I was back testing and developing my strategy, even when I was changing it, I was still live trading. I was getting experience where people a lot of people fail from not actually trading live whilst they're learning, because you're not used to actually executing. You're not used to seeing the trades in live market time. It's all good backtesting when you can just press and the next candle comes, but would you actually enter when price gets that level when you're live trading? That's the mistake a lot of people make. They're not actually used to executing. They're used to just drawing on their risk to reward tool and calculating the results from that. But if you're not used to actually executing the trades which you're marking up, calculating your risk, managing the trade, if you're in drawdown, how are you going to manage it? When do you have to close early, or do you just hold to stop loss or take profit? These are all things you need to know. And once I actually learned this is when trading got a lot easier for me. And I was starting to have profitable days, which turned into weeks, which eventually turned into profitable months. And that's where we're up to around when I was turning 18. When I turned 18, this is when I started to scale my trading. And by scaling the trading, I just mean using prop firms to fund my account and to fund, the lifestyle. At this time I was making YouTube videos, and I was going through, when I did the funding talent prop firm, which is now shut down, I did the whole challenge verification phase live for you guys to see. And obviously we got a payout too with a 100% win rate, I'm pretty sure. And that was the first prop firm I actually passed. And obviously now we've done more prop firms. You guys can go on the channel and see we've got multiple payouts. That's kind of the main way to grow your trading account. At the time I didn't have 500, 600, 700,000 pounds to actually trade with, but using a prop firm you can get access to that within a couple of weeks. So I was like, okay, I don't have hundreds of thousands of pounds to trade with at the time, so how am I gonna make hundreds of thousands of pounds from trading? Invest into prop firms. Simple as that. If you have the trading skill set, you know how to trade, your live accounts are profitable, it's a no-brainer to actually get funded. If you're trading on demo, I wouldn't say to go for funded straight away. I'd say to definitely trade a live account first. Although funded accounts are demos, you do have the added pressure of having a challenge phase, having a profit target to reach, having to adhere to all the drawdown rules, the news rules, the lot size rules on some of these prop firms now. You have to get used to all of this. Trading a live account with the same conditions as a prop firm would definitely help you out, and you're getting used to trading with live money. So there's actually money on the line when you're trading these. Same if you buy a prop firm, your initial challenge fee is on the line. If you pass, you get a refund. If you fail, you then lose that initial account fee. When I was trading my personal accounts, I was making, decent money. A lot of the times I'd do account flips. I wouldn't advise anyone to do this, but at the time I kind of wanted to make money from Forex. I had a profitable strategy. So what I'd do is I'd put £1,000 in an account and I'd try and flip it. Flip it to like 5k or 10k and then just restart. You guys will probably know from if you've been on the channel for a while, I used to trade with accounts of like £7,000-8,000, trade them, risk like 500 £1,000 per trade, and then make like 10-15k profit, withdraw it back to 7k, start again. I actually learned this from someone that I actually know that trades, and this is kind of the thing that he did. He's like, I don't have all my money in the account, still want to trade, but I can just trade higher risk percentage, but I'm actually risking a lower percentage on a larger account size. We don't need it all in the account, obviously because of leverage. I had good success with it because I had a profitable strategy. I was able to make enough money. I was making over 5 figures a month when I was 17 from this sort of trading. And then once I got the prop firms, and with the prop firms now, some days I've made over $50,000 in a single trading session. One London session in February, I made just over $50,000 on prop firms. You got to think that's like an average yearly salary. Obviously $50,000 converted to pounds, and then you obviously have tax and everything. It definitely shows what's possible with these prop firms. Let's say I was working when I was 17 or even when I was 18. I'm not going to be making $50,000 a year. Simple as that. Unless I obviously go into like a finance job or start my own business, it's not going to happen. When you turn 18, having the ability to make so much money from prop firms is just unbelievable. So if you guys aren't making the most of it, then definitely go and sign up to a prop firm if you're already, and go and make some money, and let's go bankrupt them. And obviously even to this day I'm trying to scale the prop firms up, because with these prop firms you can have multiple accounts. There's multiple prop firms, so you can scale it to a few £1,000,000 or a few $1,000,000 in accounts which you actually manage. So this is kind of the goal, to have 2-3 million in management. So then if you make 1%, you're making 20 grand. If you make 10% in a month, you're making 200 grand. Very, very nice. That is kind of the aim for the end of this year, to have multiple 7 figures in management in the prop firms, which will then mean obviously you have to trade less, or you have to trade less risky. You can lower your risk to make even more returns. You don't really want to be risking 1 to 2% every single time you're entering a trade, especially if that 2% is $40,000. A lot of people would struggle with that. Obviously I have other incomes outside of just actively trading. I have YouTube. This YouTube channel makes around a few £1,000s per month. I also have my mentorship group, which you guys should go sign up to. That obviously makes money. I also have watches and other investments. You guys know I love to buy watches, and because I can get watches retail price now, making profit on these as soon as I walk out the store, which is obviously amazing. All these combined, hopefully in the next few years we're going to be at 8, 9, 10 figures of income. Obviously 10 figures is $1 billion. That would obviously be the ultimate goal. Nice billy in the bank, but that's obviously long term. So we're going to focus on making 10 million in the next few years. Maybe the next video will be with a £10 million net worth. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for that one. There is a full video about an hour long on my channel. If you want to know the full journey, I went through each step in more detail. Go and check that out. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next week.